turns out my problem wasn't beach grass after all. It was sand. I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle, and I'm making progress. You've heard me talk about beach babies a lot, and you have heard me lament the amount of beach grass that I have to stitch on this last edge. And I've been avoiding it because I didn't want to stitch grass, but I was forgetting the fact that before I can stitch the grass, I have to stitch the sand. And the sand is several different shades of nearly similar sand-colored floss, and I'm getting there. I am so close to done with this. I've got a little more sand to do. I filled in a bunch of the holes in the fence, and then I'm going to be back stitching grass, and then I will be done. It is, what is it? When I post this, it'll be Saturday, June 3rd. It's the afternoon of the 2nd right now. And I'm eyeballing projects, and I'm wondering what will happen with my mid-year whip and finish parade. Malkita Stitches, which is a channel that I just started watching, has been doing cross-stitch debates videos. And her second one is about goals and challenges versus stitching whatever you want, which I found really interesting because I am very much a stitch what you want stitcher. I don't do a lot of things on deadlines for gifts or have assigned days of the month to work on specific projects. I think that would drive me batty. But I do like to set goals. And if you have been watching my Flosstube videos this year, you have seen how many times I have set and changed my finish goal for beach babies. I think maybe by June 30th. That is what I am working towards, but if I don't, the world won't end. I am also doing a tremendous lot of stitching on Travel Memories. I started this on May 27th, and yes, it is fraying more than I thought it would. It's extra fray. I'm also stitching in hand and stitching on it a lot, which I'm sure contributes to that. I'm having fun with this. It has a lot of back stitching, and a lot of that back stitching is intimidating, and the confetti stitching on the Eiffel Tower is intimidating. But once I get going, it works up fast. So if I have a goal, it is to finish these two by the end of June. If I don't finish these two by the end of June, I'm not going to beat myself up for it. If something else bright and shiny pops up, that is fine. I did decide I needed another mindless stitching project to alternate with these because they're not hard. That back stitching and confetti is a little intense. And I have a tree that makes it look like someone is walking across my yard, which has been driving me batty for weeks now. So I pulled out Pink Flower because this is kind of the definition of easy mindless stitching, especially if I work on these petals, which are much easier than the center, which is almost done. So I'm kind of alternating with this. I'm working on my socks. This is Dark and Stormy. The needles, compared to the ones I'm using for the shawls, are toothpicks. And they make me nervous because it would be so easy to unintentionally snap one, and I don't think I have any spares left because the more you knit, these are consumable items. I don't like metal needles. Metal needles wouldn't snap, but I don't like the feel. I don't like the sound they make, so I use wood, and the smart answer would be to order some more needles from Knit Picks before these break, but for some reason I'm resistant to doing that. Don't ask me what that reason is because I don't know. I went to the thrift store last week, the week before. They are now selling DMC. Well, they are now selling 6-stranded cotton embroidery floss for 35 cents for an individual skein. I have so many questions about that because just really quickly rummaging through the bin, they're not full skeins. There is JP Coats, there is Anchor, there are DMC labels going back as far as I've seen old DMC labels. So to save 18 cents a skein over the Hobby Lobby price, do you buy a skein that's older than you are? I will totally stitch with ancient floss, 100%. But if I'm going to spend money on it, I need to have a substantial savings for me to go that route. So I'm curious to see if they keep doing this. I kind of hope they don't, because I like being able to buy a bag of floss, but whatever happens will happen, and it's okay. I have hit the point of desperation where I needed a color. I could not find it anywhere in the house. I could have taken my son's car and driven to town, but for 10 stitches of one color, that seemed excessive. So I went through leftover dimensions floss organizers and grabbed a conversion chart and sub-dimensions floss for DMC, and you know what? It was 10 or 20 stitches. It worked fine. This is why I save leftover floss. This is why I need to get my act together. And I really do need to fill in the gaps in my master set of DMC, because if you have a master set and you actually stitch, which is the goal, your master set winds up with gaps in it. I have notes for once, and I brought my notes over to use while I was filming, and I think I got to everything. Thanks for watching. I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle. I'm going to go stitch sand, I guess.